Okay, so we've gone through how to develop your technique using both fingerstyle, the Geddy Lee flick technique, last but surely not least, pick. I've told you before in lessons that the pick is a guitar pick, but you look at what you're playing a bass guitar. This is a bass guitar. The flick that I've been showing you, the Geddy Lee technique, it's it acts like a pick for those who don't want to use a pick but use just their fingers, but flicking is going to sound different than a pick. So if you want to be hired, if you want to be able to adapt into any and all situations, you got to learn how to use one. And I've showed you how to hold one before, and you have it rest up against your thumb, and then whichever finger feels the most comfortable, you rest it against that. For me, I hold my pick between my index and thumb. But I know people who do it between their middle and thumb. Wherever you can firmly hold on to it without squeezing it so that it doesn't fall out of your hand. That's all you really need to learn with holding a pick. Now there are bassists out there who use both fingers and pick. John Entwistle of The Who and Flea from the Red Hot Chili Peppers are two. There are many more out there, but those are two of the biggest names I can think of. So I've showed you how to do warm-ups using the chromatics, how to use scales going up and down on one string, and I've also shown you how to do, flick and a nice steady pulse with all your fingers. Last step of the equation is the pick, and I'm going to show you one other way to further develop your technique, and that's playing one octave scales across many different strings. Now, I will go into more in-depth how to construct a scale all over the neck, not just starting on one, but these are the one string scale formula that I showed you on Tuesday. You can put that on any fret and it will work. This formula that I'm going to show you is tricky because you have to start here on the second fret and keep going up the neck in order for it to work. Once you get to the first fret or the open end string, it's going to be a little bit more difficult to do it, but like I said, we'll get there at a later point. Now, in order to make a scale starting on a lower string, we'll 5th fret on my B string, or for those of you who are playing with a 4 string, 5th fret on the A string. Now we know that the formula is whole, whole, half, whole, 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 half. That makes a major scale. So we know that the first whole step is 2 frets away from your starting note. So we got 5th fret on the A string. So the first whole step is 2 frets up, 7th fret on the E string, which is the note B. Now the second whole step is up 2 more frets to 9th fret on the E string C sharp, but we want to go across different strings. So the note value of this C sharp is also on the 4th fret of the A string. So I want you to go 1, which is 5 on E, 4, 2. Let me start again. The fingering pattern is 2 4 1 2 4 1 3 4. Or index is 1, 2 is middle, 3 is ring, 4 is your pinky. So you go 2 to 4 on the E string. That's A to B, and that's, that is what it is. Then you go 1 on the 4th fret of the A string. Now if you take the open string A, it is the exact same as 5th fret E string. So one whole step would be 2nd fret. The second whole step would be the 4th fret. So by that process of elimination, 2 4 1, and then the half step up to the D, 5th fret A string, and you have your first half of the scale. A, B, C sharp, D, whole, whole, half. Now, the next whole step up is to the 7th fret E. E. The fourth whole step up, the whole step up after the E is F sharp. Now there's one of two ways you can do this, playing a scale over a couple of different strings. You can go shift to 1 on the 9th fret of the A string, which is F sharp, a whole step away from E, and then 3, which is a whole step up from F sharp, which is the 11th fret G sharp, and then the half step up to the A. Or going back to the 7th fret E note on the A string, we do the exact same cross that we did going from the E string to the A string. So 7, 4 on the D string. 4 on the D string F sharp is the exact same as 9 on the A string F sharp. So we go 4, 1, and then you got to go one more whole step, 3 up to the G sharp, up the half step to the A. So, just watch my hand. I'll do it in both ways. And that's 2 4 1 2 4 1 3 4 4 3 1 4 2 1 4 2. Or from the 7th fret E, instead of crossing over to the 4th fret D, you go up to the 9th fret A, and that's a 1 octave major scale over 2 strings and 3 strings. So now we're going to tie this together with string crossings using major scale as a warm-up, and I'm going to bust out the metronome again. The reason why none of this is plugged in is because you know what I want you to do. I want you to get a nice, even attack with every note that you strike. And you saw that in the very first video that I posted for this week on Monday, where it's all about just the Geddy Lee flick technique, but nice, even stroke. So just go back to that video. But we're going to get the metronome going, and you've seen how to do chromatics, you've seen how to do 1 octave on one string. Now I'll show you the octave scale on all the strings using all the different techniques that I've shown you, starting with the Geddy Lee technique. Okay, so it's at 60 BPM. String crossing using the flick technique and doing scales, it's better if you just keep it to 2 strings just because of the pendulous motion of your finger. See? By going across 3 strings, I have to reset the motion. Did a downstroke there, but it's going to be an awkward jump to get to the upstroke on the F sharp, so see what I did? So if you're gonna do flick, keep it to 2 strings, the scale. Now I'll show you with 4-finger style. When I do go across 3 different strings, I do a consolidation move. So whatever finger I use to strike the last note on the higher string, I use that same finger to strike the first note on the string below it. But with these 4- and 3-finger technique, you want to get into the habit of alternating between all of your fingers that you are using. Like, I'll show you with 3. Nice, even stroke. Same with all the 2 finger groupings that I showed you. One and 3. One and 2. One and thumb. Like I said, and I've said it time and time again, nice, even, consistent stroke. Now with the pick, you have one of 2 different ways you can do this, and I highly recommend becoming adept at both ways of pick style. Well, there's strictly downstrokes, so the motion of the pick is constantly going down toward the floor. And then there's alternate picking, where it's just like with the flick. You're striking down toward the floor and then bringing it back up toward your body. The reason why I say get good at developing all of these different techniques with all these different finger groupings and with a pick, because playing bass is all determinant on what feels right underneath your hands, what sounds right in your ear. So you may be playing something that is like a steady 8th note rock pulse at a quick tempo, but you're mostly a fingerstyle player and it just does not sound right in your head for whatever reason or another. You may be playing a very intricate part that doesn't sound right. But if you do it with a pick, it grooves better in your head, in your body. You feel the groove better playing with a pick, and it just sounds better in your ears. So this is why I say work hard with all of these techniques. I'll show you what I mean in tomorrow's lesson, where I play for you the 1970 Black Sabbath classic, Paranoid.